Florida news is always streaming on Florida 24 Network. Covering the stories that matter to you all across Florida. The news on Florida 24 Network starts now.
I'm Sophia Hernandez, making Florida news now. A season has come to an end. The National Hurricane Center isn't expecting any activity the next couple of days. It comes as hurricane season closes out. But Florida has been impacted by a few of the 20 named storms. A look at how the state fared this season.
Why there's growing suspicion behind Florida's new teen health survey. Details coming up.
Record numbers of turtle nests. However, not every hatchling is getting in the water.
One piece of the puzzle might be predators. We did see a really high predation rate this year compared to past years.
But predators weren't the only factor. The main culprit and its impact on future populations. The fourth most active hurricane season has come to an end. This year we saw 20 named storms, with 4 of the storms impacting Florida. Hurricane Idalia was the only U.S. landfalling storm this year. That's according to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. It hit the Big Bend area as a Category 3 hurricane after rapid intensification in the Gulf of Mexico. Idalia caused heavy damage in Madison and Lafayette counties. After the hurricane, I spoke to residents in Steinhatchee who rode out the storm and explained they felt devastated by what remained of their town.
I've never seen trees tilt the way those tilted. I've never seen the water come, even with the 93 storm that we had, that they called the storm of the century. It didn't tear up Roy's in the bar like it did today. And there's houses that are all down on that end. They're completely destroyed. I don't know that Steinhatchee will be the same.
Early projections put losses from Idalia at between $3 and $5 billion. The State Department of Agriculture says damage to Florida's agriculture industry is estimated to be about $447 million. Sadly, there were 4 confirmed deaths attributed to Hurricane Idalia here in Florida, according to the FDLE. However, Idalia was not the only storm to impact Florida. Both Tropical Storm Arlene and Tropical Storm Harold brought heavy rain to South Florida. Arlene was the first storm of the year. According to the National Weather Service, depending on where you were in South Florida, you likely saw anywhere between 2 and 6 inches of rain. Harold, meanwhile, was one of 4 named storms to form in less than 2 days. It was the first time in recorded history anything like that had happened. Fort Lauderdale in particular got the brunt of both storms and overall saw a lot of rain during the summer. In fact, the mayor stated the city had nearly 109 inches of rain, making it the rainiest year ever recorded. While parts of the state saw a lot of rain, other parts saw very little. It's now impacting your holiday festivities. Christmas tree suppliers in Hillsborough are dealing with a shortage of evergreens. Farmer Richard Salzman says 5,000 of his trees died over the summer from the drought. It may be hard to find a lot of 10-foot plus trees because of it. He's also had to use other methods to fill his tree tent.
I spent actually extra time in North Carolina and reached out to some old growers I knew, and actually one of the sons had taken over, and I got with him for a couple days, and we ended up getting trees from him and my other grower. He actually helped me out.
The company says wildfires out west and driver shortages are also impacting trees. Employees add they're going north every 2 weeks to restock fresh evergreens. Covering Pinellas County, several shelters are gathering supplies to open over the next few weeks. In recent days, a number of shelters have allowed people to escape the cold. From Tallahassee to Jacksonville, down to Hillsborough County, and over in Orlando, shelters were open Wednesday night as a cold front moved through. Across Tampa Bay, shelters are seeing a significant increase in people coming in. In light of the numbers, the Homeless Leadership Alliance is asking for donations this holiday season. Covering the Panhandle, crews are set to repair a pier that was damaged during Hurricane Sally in 2020. Escambia County says work is expected to begin by the end of the year on the Casino Beach fishing pier on Pensacola Beach. We're told repairs include a new railing, deck panels, and lighting. The pier will be closed during construction that is expected to last until May of 2024. A fairly unprecedented debate happening outside Atlanta on Thursday night. A presidential candidate takes on someone not even in the running. Capitol reporter Forrest Saunders breaks down the battle between Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and California Governor Gavin Newsom.
Governor Ron DeSantis' GOP presidential campaign going all in Thursday, doing everything it could to drum up publicity ahead of the fast-approaching debate with California Democrat Governor Gavin Newsom.
It is the day of the great debate, red state versus blue state. And why this is important to America is this will be a preview of what is to come.
DeSantis surrogates like Florida Attorney General Ashley Moody hosted a press conference with disillusioned Californians turned Florida residents.
Tonight, I'm in the Atlanta, Georgia area. We're doing a debate on Fox News with Sean Hannity.
And DeSantis himself spoke with local reporters in Iowa, suggesting he really is debating a 2024 candidate, despite Newsom not being on the ballot.
I think Republican voters understand Biden is a spent force. He should not be running again. There's a lot of Democrats that want to remove him and put in somebody else. So I see Newsom as being one of these guys waiting in the wings.
Newsom, meanwhile, has been relatively quiet, his press team doing little to nothing to promote the Fox News event. Florida Democrats, however,
it's just another day in the slow humiliation of Ron DeSantis, or as we call it here in Florida, a Thursday.
Held a virtual press call to tout support of current President Joe Biden's reelection and get in as many DeSantis jabs as possible.
His campaign is in a tailspin. So it should be clear to everyone watching tonight, this is not a shadow debate for the presidency. It is a stunt and a spectacle.
Pundits think each of these politicians will be able to walk away with wins. Newsom likely seeking a presidential bid in 2028 and looking to flex his strength to prospective donors. DeSantis living by the principle that all press is good press, but just how good remains to be seen. At the Capitol, I'm Forrest Saunders, Florida 24.
From combating porch pirates to key issues Florida voters are concerned with. Here's a look at the other top stories we're following. Housing is on the mind of Florida voters. That's according to a new University of North Florida poll. 26% of voters rated housing costs as the most important issue facing the state. 30% of those polled blamed insurance companies for the ongoing crisis. The poll also looked at other key issues. UNF says 62% would support a measure to protect the right to an abortion. Neptune Beach Police trying to combat porch thefts this holiday season by allowing residents to have their packages sent to the department. To participate, you must be a resident of Neptune Beach, have your items sent to the station, and present your ID upon pickup. The program runs until December 23rd. The first woman to fly on a space shuttle mission after the Challenger disaster has died. NASA astronaut Mary Cleave died at the age of 76 on Monday. While the cause of death is unknown, NASA Associate Administrator Bob Cabana released this statement, saying in part, quote, "I'm sad we've lost trailblazer Dr. Mary Cleave, shuttle astronaut, veteran of 2 space flights, and first woman to lead the Science Mission Directorate as Associate Administrator. Mary was a force of nature with a passion for science, exploration, and caring for our home planet. She will be missed." There are new concerns about the health and behavior of Florida teens. That's because the state has yet to release student responses from its newly created Teen Health Survey. That survey replaced a long-standing federal questionnaire some Florida leaders called too sexualized. Florida 24 investigator Katie LaGrone has spent months following the creation of Florida's new student survey and explains why the lack of results have some questioning why.
What happened to Florida's newly created Teen Health Survey? That's the question we've been asking for months. This summer, Florida's Department of Education was scheduled to release results from its new voluntary teen survey after it was distributed in the spring to students at select high schools. But those results never came. 4 months later, still nothing. Why are the results of the newly created Florida survey still so important?
To see exactly what our Florida youth are experiencing.
Dr. Lawrence Friedman specializes in adolescent medicine at the University of Miami. For years, he relied on the CDC's voluntary teen survey to spot trends, compare Florida teen behavior to youth across the country, and determine money and resources his department needs to treat young patients at a higher risk of engaging in risky behavior. But last year, Florida announced it would stop using the federal study. Education Commissioner Manny Diaz called it inflammatory and sexualized. So Florida created its own. We obtained a copy this summer, revealing the questions, which were focused more on resiliency standards, including empathy, perseverance, and citizenship, than risky teen behavior like sex, drugs, and violence.
I have been wanting to see the results of this survey and what it looks like and what we can glean from it, because I was concerned there was a lot of information lost.
Caitlin Clibben works with Disability Rights Florida and was part of the state's work group that helped create the state's new survey. She raised a number of concerns the survey focused too much on resiliency and character traits than actual teen behavior. She, too, hasn't heard a thing about how students responded.
It's radio silent, so it's really hard to know for sure. But, maybe the results on the resiliency standards are not as desirable as they would have liked.
A spokesperson from Florida's Education Department sent us this email back in September, stating they were working with the University of South Florida to compile and review survey results. Despite multiple requests, they haven't responded to us since, leaving youth advocates wondering what Florida's new teen survey actually shows and why the state has yet to make it public.
I would love to be proved wrong and see that it's a great survey providing us very good information, very valuable information. But right now it's providing us no information.
Katie LaGrone for the Florida 24 Network.
Fewer baby sea turtles making it to the ocean. The potential reasons for lower hatch rates in Southwest Florida as wildlife experts look to protect the reptiles.